What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and I lost $30,000 this week. This week was a rough one. I actually did not win a single trade. I got break-evened multiple times and I lost multiple trades, putting me down around $30,000 this week across accounts. And I just wanted to hop on here and talk about what I'm thinking and my mental attitude going into the weekend and going into next week. Now, typically, I feel like a lot of people, when they lose an exorbitant amount of money trading, they immediately fall into this victim role, right? Why does this have to happen to me? Why am I so stupid? Why do I keep making the same mistakes? And while some of that is useful, right? Like, why do I keep making the same mistakes? That is a very useful thing to explore. It's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Instead of thinking with this victim mindset, what you should be doing, and what I'm doing, especially since I lost $30,000 this week, is I'm in a privileged position. I'm in a position where I could lose $30,000, and it's not something that affects me really at all, right? Right now, I'm level-headed. This weekend, I'm going to be level-headed, right? I'm going to go out, have a few drinks, enjoy my time, spend some time with my girlfriend, my family, my friends, football Sunday, right? Going into next week, I'm going to be completely level-headed because I'm not playing this victim mindset, right? I'm privileged enough to lose $30,000 and still be okay. And when you have that mindset shift, that will go so far for you. Because what do you expect when your mental capital is at zero or sub-zero, right? What do you expect to happen? You're going to blow up. You're going to take more bad trades, and every single loss you take is going to worsen your mental capital. And so it's this vicious cycle that a lot of people fall into. And it's weird because the only way to get out of it is to completely shift your mindset and understand truly what's going on from a third person's perspective. So let me explain to you what probably happens to you, what happens to a lot of traders, and which is why I would say 99% of traders don't actually make money, right? They go on this losing streak. They have a bad week. They feel like a victim, right? Their mental capital is zero or sub-zero, right? It's horrible, right? That poor mental capital makes you more inclined to take a trade. Now, since you're more inclined to take a trade, you probably don't have the patience necessary to take a good trade. So you're probably taking a bad trade. Now, once you get stopped out of that bad trade, it's a lose-lose situation. Because if you get stopped out of that bad trade, then your mental capital decreases even more, and you feel more inclined to revenge trade, right? And if you hit TP on that bad trade, it reinforces that habit of taking a bad trade when you're down to make money. And that will eventually cause you to blow up, right? So everything is your mindset. It's 100% your mindset. Now, I'm down $30,000 this week. Obviously, it fucking sucks. Today was ass, right? I closed out of my first position early because I took a 3-minute inversion to the upside right into a 15-minute bearish gap. Now, normally I wouldn't take that trade, but my narrative was strong, so I took that trade. Right when I took that trade, I immediately was like, I shouldn't be taking this trade. So I closed the trade, which put my accounts down $240 on the day. Right when I closed the trade, market opened and it ripped to my TP. So I would have taken profit. And that would have been like $1,600 across 8 accounts, which would have ended my week well, even though this week was ass, right? But instead of doing that, I closed the trade early. Now going forward, right, I probably would just not take that trade in the first place. And that's exactly what I'm going to do going forward, right? It makes no sense to long 3-minute inversion into a 15-minute bearish gap, no matter what confluences or narrative you have. Now, the reason I took that trade was because I had a lot of conviction in longs, and it played out even though I closed the trade. So after taking that $240 loss, I myself noticed that my mental capital wasn't there, right? Because I'm red this week, because I was down, 20-something $1,000 at that point in time, right? My mental capital wasn't there, and I knew that. I was aware of that From a third person's perspective, I was aware of that. So my second trade, right, was another 3-minute inversion towards all-time highs. My drawn liquidity was all-time highs. And I went break even at the first high that we crossed, right? So I was in profit for a little bit. I went break even, got stopped break even. I was pissed, locked myself out of the accounts. What happens right after I get stopped break even? If you were on the charts today, you would know the market fucking tanked like 600 points because Trump announced something with the tariffs. And I would have gotten stopped out, and that would have even worsened my mental capital. But because I was aware that my mental capital was down, that's why I went break even on that trade. And since I got stopped break even, that salvaged my mental capital a little bit. But I was only able to salvage it because I was aware of what was going on, if you understand what I'm saying, right? Now, if I wasn't aware, and if I was still emotional from this week, I probably wouldn't have gone break even as fast as I would, and that trade would have stopped me out for $700, and I would have taken a $700 loss on top of that $240 loss from before that ended up hitting my TP. And that would have put my mind in the fucking gutter, right? Because then I would have been down 36,000, 38,000, 39,000 on the week. And not only that, but I would know that I should have gone break even. But instead I was aware that my mental capital was down. And so I acted as if my mental capital was down, and I saved myself. This is something that a lot of you guys do. Instead of trying to save yourself, you know what you should be doing. You know it. You know you're not emotionally there, yet you still proceed to trade as if you were 100% there. But because you're slightly emotional, it forces you to be impatient. It forces you to take bad setups, which further worsens your mental capital. Something that helped me get over this was reviewing my trades from the past month, right? This was like 2 or 3 months ago, 4 months ago. When I reviewed my trades from the past month, I noticed that around 60% of the time, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The other 40% is impatience, forced entries, aggressive entries, rush trades, etc., etc. Now, I highly encourage you to take the time to go and review your past trades, because I guarantee you, if you're not profitable, if you haven't gotten a payout, right? I guarantee you, you are doing things that you don't even know that you're doing. And that is a huge mistake that will fuck you. It will. It will fuck you more than you could ever imagine. It will fuck you. It will fuck you harder than Shaq. Needed that analogy there, because you need to understand how important it is to do these reviews, because it will show you how emotionally incoherent you are. Now, another reason why I thought it was important to make this video was because I feel like a lot of the day trading space is glorified, right? A lot of you guys think that profitable traders always make money and they never lose money. Now, while that might be true in some cases, there are times where you fuck up, even after you become profitable. This game isn't an invisible line. There is no finish line. There is no end goal. There is no, okay, now I'm profitable, now I don't make mistakes anymore. There is only mitigation. The only thing you can do is mitigate your losses, mitigate your fuck ups, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean, now while I'm down 30K this week, right? I know going into next week where I fucked up this week. And it won't affect me going into next week because I'm aware of it, if you understand what I'm saying. There is no invisible line. There is no, now that I'm profitable, I will never make a mistake again. There is only, I make this mistake frequently, so let me find a way to make this mistake less impactful if I'm going to make the mistake. Now, how do I personally do that? I go break even more often, right? And what I'm going to start doing next week is, if I feel as if my first trade wasn't great, if I feel like I forced it in any way possible, lock myself out, close my charts, that's it. No more. Because I know myself. And I know that if I put myself in a position, right? If I put myself in a position to feel emotional, that will impact my trading. I'm telling you, it's all about awareness and mitigation. That is the whole game. The only reason, right? How many of you guys, before I go into this next thing, how many of you guys would be down over $25,000 on the week? How many of you guys would go into Friday feeling emotional and lose more? Probably most of you. Probably most people. Right? Because when you have that low mental capital, you're typically not mitigating your errors. You're exacerbating them. Right? You're taking bad trades, bad quality setups. You're not moving your stop to break even. You're trading with emotion that will only worsen your mental capital or reinforce bad habits. So the only way to get over that is to mitigate your bad habits. So number one, you're not worsening your mental capital if you take a loss because you're quicker to go break even. And number two, you're not reinforcing these horrible habits by winning on a bad setup or winning when you shouldn't be. Right? If you do the same thing 10 times and those 10 times it works out for you, if it's a bad habit, the 11th time when it doesn't work out for you will cause you to blow everything because you'll blow up. Because that's just what it is. The market will always take its money back. Right? If you don't understand how to mitigate, if you don't understand how to hold yourself accountable, if you don't understand how to gain awareness, the market will always take your money back. Will always. Because you keep making yourself vulnerable. Right? The trading game, waiting for your setup, taking your setup, getting off. Waiting for your setup, taking your setup, getting off. Waiting for your setup, taking your setup, getting off. Right? But when emotion comes into play, then it's like taking a bad setup, hitting your stop loss, knowing that you weren't supposed to be taking that trade in the first place, so you feel like you didn't deserve that loss, taking another trade, probably another bad setup because you have no patience, because you're emotional, blah, 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 blah. You know the cycle, right? So I'm down $30,000 this week. There is a lesson in there, a very important lesson in there that all of you guys should be aware of. That's why I felt like it was important to make this video. Because with every loss, there's a lesson. With every win, there's a lesson. And you just have to understand as a trader, it's your job to mitigate, take accountability, right? And fucking be aware of where your mental capital is and what your next course of action will do for your mental capital, right? I know if I take the weekend to relax, chill out, I can come back into Monday as if nothing happened this week, even though I lost $30,000 this week. If I were to take the weekend and stress about it and back test and forward test and fucking, do market reviews every single day, I'd go into Monday recalling all of my losses, taking all of that emotional baggage with me into next week. And that's just a situation that I don't want to be in. So if this video helped you, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're going through something. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want me to make a certain video. Like this video if it helped you. Subscribe down below. If you feel like it, join the narrative. Nice Discord community there. And I'm down 30K this week. I'm privileged to be in a position where I'm down 30K this week. And if I had to do this week over, probably would do it the same way. Probably would be down 30K again. So with that being said, peace out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Friday. And I'll see you in the next one.